you're number one. You ain't number one.
What is up, my beautiful people? My name is G-Vance and welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be talking about the new album by D Smoke entitled Black Habits. This new album by D Smoke comes to us a year after his official EP that dropped last year called Inglewood High, which consisted of about, I think, 7 tracks. Like, it was like 20-ish minutes long. And this album, I would say it's like his official like full length project. It has 15 tracks in total. I think it might be 16. I don't know until I remember. But it has about 15, 16 tracks in it, and it's about an hour long of pure content. And just this album, I feel like is everything that we would have like expected from a full length album from D Smoke. For those of you that don't know who D Smoke is, he is a very underrated rapper from Inglewood. He just started doing like his whole like rapping career stuff. He's pretty much new. He's only like 34 years old right now, but he is like considered a new artist right now. But for those of you that do recognize who D Smoke is, you might know him as the winner of the Netflix original of Rhythm and Flow. He was the winner for season 1 of that show, and he got a lot of popularity from that. And ever since that, he's just been doing like his own thing and has been like trying to put shit out. And I feel like this album is hopefully the start of like something beautiful for his rap career, I guess you could say. Now I'm gonna give a full warning like ahead of time for anyone who is not into religion or don't like it when rappers like put like their like religious beliefs in albums, because D Smoke's religion like is one of like the big factors on this album that he includes. I'm not trying to say that it's like a like whole Jesus is King sort of vibe. Like it's definitely not that. It's just that growing up, D Smoke had obviously grew up with parents who were like really religious and were like just really like close to God. It was something that was really important to them. When they were raising them. And now that D Smoke is in his like almost mid-30s, as now he's an adult, he obviously has been carrying like that trait and like that aspect of religion and like the importance of being closer to God to him a lot. And so he just includes a little bit of that on this album. It's the reason why the first track of the album is literally called Morning Prayer, where you hear D Smoke as a child say a prayer with his brothers and with his mom. I guess it's a prayer that they will always say before like the kids will go off to school. And that's also the reason why most of the album sort of sounds like a ghetto gospel sort of like vibe. The production is like kind of soulful, kind of like more gospel. It's like it's kind of like a Chance the Rapper album, because I know he includes a lot of like gospel shit on there. But I feel like this one is like more like I guess underground and kind of like, I don't really know how to explain it. I think it's more like it's more like gospel mixed with like some hardcore rap, if that makes sense. I don't really know how to explain it, but somewhere around there. But besides the whole like gospel like production of it all, and like the soulful like vibe to it, the main thing on this album, I would say, is D Smoke like practicing not only his lyrical ability but also practicing like his storytelling skills to see if he can like like put a good picture in the listeners' heads, which not that many rappers can do, but like to any rappers that can do like some really good like storytelling shit, that's like something that a lot of people really dig, because it's like spitting knowledge and like spitting like just like trying to like teach people a lesson, pretty much is what this album is about. And I guess saying teaching a lesson to the listeners is a pretty like good way to describe the kind of rapper that D Smoke is, because he was a teacher at Inglewood High. At least that's what the Wikipedia says. I know Wikipedia is not like a reliable source these days. But when I was trying to do some research on this guy, I literally couldn't find anything. He's barely like a new artist, so obviously not that many people are gonna know much about him. So I'm just working with what I got here. From what I understood in the album, and from what I like personally gathered from it, is D Smoke is pretty much telling the story of of his father getting locked up when D Smoke was a really young age. And so take it with the fact that he grew up without a father most of his life. He's like struggling to become a man, struggling to like survive and like try to grow up and just try to like find his way through life in Inglewood as he falls into like the basic like stereotypes that most people would have on a lot of like African American males. I personally think it's a really smart move to call the album Black Habits because that right there is like the moment I read that title I was like there's gonna be a lot of like metaphorical shit in this about that title specifically. D Smoke is like constantly saying about like how he when he was a child and when he was growing up as a teenager how he was like how he like fell into a lot of those stereotypes, like being the black male that grew up without a dad, or like he has a dad but the dad is locked up. That's like one of like the biggest stereotypes out there. And there's also like the stereotypes of like oh, he grew up in a very like bad environment, and so you expect him to be all hard and to be like all like I want to kill people and to like be like a thug sort of thing, which personally after listening to this album I don't see D Smoke as someone who could like fuck anybody up. Like I'm pretty sure he could if he wanted to, but like I feel like he's like more of a peaceful person because I don't get that much of like a hardcore like rapper sort of vibe on this album. Honestly, D Smoke sort of like reminds me of like the underrated version of Kendrick Lamar because they're both from California. They both spit a lot of like lyrical knowledge and they both pretty much want to teach like lessons of like what they've learned in their life and what their experiences have taught them in order to teach them to other people in order to have them like live a better life and follow their dreams and whatnot. Most of the time D Smoke is like just pretty much like being like a bit open and vulnerable about his past experiences and about like the stuff that he's like like well what he values the most. Like for example, there is this one song called Free where he pretty much expresses like the importance and like how he really like has the obsession of trying to be free from like his own personal prison that like is inside his mind. How he's like trapped within himself and doesn't know how to like escape from himself and become a better person, which is something I think anybody can like can relate to. And he also he's a big family man. He constantly talks about his family, how people like him aren't supposed to like follow like aren't supposed to like live up to their dreams. You feel me? Like how like a lot of people see like him and like the kind of family that he's in, how like they're doomed from the start. They don't have a chance of happiness or anything, and how like those specific people are the ones that have to like work extra hard because not everybody gets like a calling card or like not everybody gets everything handed out to them, like from the start. So it's obvious that D Smoke had to work a lot to get to where he is now. And yeah, he's not like that young. He's in his 30s, but it's better late than never. And I feel like after all the hard work he's put into this album, I honestly can't like wait to see what he does next. And as for the features on this album, I gotta say the features are like a really like big like aspect of why this album is like so good. Like he mostly works with a lot of like R&B people. Like for example, he does have a song with Ari Lennox on a song called Real Body, which I wouldn't say it's like a sex anthem, but I think it's more like a like a soulful like respecting your like partner and whatnot. Like it's a pretty like dope song about just pretty much just like respecting your lover and being there for them and just being a fucking man about it, I guess you could say. And D Smoke also collaborates for the first time with another Inglewood native artist whose name is Sir, who is a part of Top Dog Entertainment. He's on two songs called Lights On and Closer to God. Which I just found out today that Sir is actually D Smoke's brother. So that's that's a pretty small fucking world. Like I'm kind of surprised D Smoke isn't signed to Top Dog, but I think after this album, after hearing what he did with Sir, I think that might be a thing that might be possible because I just got a bunch of like Top Dog Entertainment vibes from this whole album, just those two songs in general. Obviously Closer to God is like like D Smoke like saying the importance of how important like religion is to him personally, and how like he struggles to get closer to God sometimes because of the environment that he's in right now. But no matter what, he does like thank God for like everything that he's done for him, and just the way that Sir and D Smoke are able to like combine like classic R&B style to like modern hardcore rap, sort of like gospel, like sort of like a modern gospel rap and hardcore rap style. Like the way they're able to combine that shit like so good, like it works really well, and you know, they kind of like made their own um style to it, I guess you could say. And aside from the R&B like styles mixed with rap, um D Smoke has, I would say, like maybe 3 songs where he's like very hardcore and like has that like modern like hardcore like rap that you hear a lot. Like for example, there's this song called Gaspa Yanga with I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know if I'm saying it right. But he has that one song with the Long Beach legend Snoop Dogg, which, you know, that's a really like big like achievement to have fucking Snoop Dogg on an album. Um, but on that song, like both Snoop and D Smoke like go fucking in, like they go hard, and like, you know, D Smoke pretty much like tests out his tough guy attitude to like assure people that he may be a bit soft on this album, but you know, if you fuck with him, you know, he will not hesitate to fuck somebody up, I guess you could say. Overall, I would say this album is really good for anyone who wants something to be able to relate to anybody who feels like they're doomed from the start and feels like there's like no chance for them in this world. I feel like this album will show them that, hey, like, it doesn't matter where you come from, as long as you put in the work and as long as you never give up on your dreams, you know, anything is possible. And I do recommend this album to anybody who likes that sort of like gospel rap, anybody who likes that storytelling, like lyrical, like a lot of like metaphors, I guess type of rap. If I'm gonna be honest, I do think the album is good, but like I'm gonna be honest, I did get a bit bored like halfway through, because it just like felt like the same sort of like thing that he's been like I feel like every song was like the same thing, I guess you could say. But overall, I did, I did enjoy, like I didn't hate it. But I just hope that if he does make any more projects, I hope that D Smoke sort of like changes it up a bit, because, you know, it gets a little like boring and repetitive if he keeps doing like the same sort of style and the same sort of like song, I guess. So but aside from that, he's a pretty like dope new artist. Hopefully he'll be on the rise soon. I'm hoping he'll get signed to Top Dog Entertainment, because again, that's the sort of vibe I got from this. But until then, Black Habits is a pretty decent album, and you know, not too bad for his like first shit. But let's hope that the next full-length album from his is gonna be like some pretty dope like different rap, I guess you could say. And with that being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, click that bell down below, all that good stuff, so you don't miss a single one of my uploads whatsoever. And don't forget to stay happy.
Super good, Smitto, DSMOKE, bitch, it's official. I got these other niggas in quite a deal of a pit.